Right after sexual
Fibonacci series.
What on Fibonacci?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, then.
Security check identity.
क्या मतलब है? We have to ना. Deadline is tomorrow.
That whiteboard in the classroom.
We discussed lot of ideas, but unfortunately my idea was rejected. Here it is, the genie board. But fine, go ahead with this bloody idea. I don't want to participate.
A documentary is a kind of cinema, a kind of video that documents reality. It's supposed to reflect reality in a creative way and present stories about what is real. The whole reason why we do documentaries inside NDTV MI is to teach skills. It's not to teach documentary. You need to be able to complete an exercise just as a technical exercise first, to be able to understand what goes into making it, how do you plan a documentary, how do you execute it, how do you put it together.
Looking at all the different things that happened at NDTV MI, we just thought that, just why don't we show it to the world, what goes on here? And basically, just make it fun and show the fun aspect and the serious aspect of NDTV MI and what it is going to bring for everyone else around us and the people who are part of the institution, which is what we wanted to showcase. So let's see whether we can do it.
We discussed a script. We pretty much come up with like a final draft. There's still some revisions that we need to do. The theme of our documentary is day in the life of an NDTV MI student. What we're trying to do is basically put a gist of what we kind of learn and do at NDTV MI into one day, span of one day. We had a lot of discussions as to how to start, and there were a lot of arguments, of course. But we've come to a basic understanding. Now what we have to decide is within our sequences, how do things work.
When we are filming a documentary, we can be a lot more layered and nuanced and maybe get into greater depth in terms of the subject, purely by virtue of the fact that if you're shooting for a documentary, your time frames are often longer.
Okay, let's start.
My first few journals writing here were really, childish.
In a documentary, you're possibly chasing something which is maybe not going to run away. It could be held captive, and it could be looked at tentatively from all angles and all sides, and you can explore and you can research, and you can maybe pick and choose, and then get on to the process of filming.
Trying to get some of that unpredictability in our images or whatever we want to show. So it's fine, it works out. It's just not a very comfortable experience.
Editing as basically defined as putting sequences of shots together in a logical manner so that people understand it. And yes, it is the most important thing while making a documentary, because your message needs to be put across adequately to the viewer. Editing is basically always going to help you send the message across in the right way. You cannot have shots happening in left, right and center. In news, to a certain extent, it's all right because you have limited footage to play around with and time. But when you want to tell a proper story, you got to get your beginning, your establishment of your topic or your situation right. So yes, editing is the understanding of the audience in a way.
Can you see what he was doing? Can you see what he was doing the entire time?
coming there.
इतना सही शॉट था तूने पूरा खराब कर दिया. तू अंदर आ गया और नहीं तो क्या?
You could use effects, more than effects, you could probably use something like animations or graphics as well as a part of your editing. The smoother your transitions, the much easier it is for your viewer to follow you. In this case, it's always about garbage in, garbage out.
So what's a great documentary? We need to get off that, the idea of a documentary, that a documentary must shatter the earth to be able to make any difference. A documentary really is opening a small window into a big chunk of life. I think you just need that one entrepreneur who comes up and puts up a great documentary, and lots of people will follow suit. There's a huge amount of talent, there's no question about that. But I think there is a huge amount of talent which is searching for an opportunity. Once they get that opportunity, it will happen.